Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to.
We'll burn it all down if you piss him off. His own sometimes too. You know, he'll cancel BMF to prove a point. Regardless of how much money he makes him.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? Buckle up, because today we are diving headfirst into some straight-up street opera. We're talking Rick Ross, Big Meech, 50 Cent, names that ring bells, right? But trust me, you ain't heard the half of it. Word on the digital street is that things have gone nuclear, like DEFCON 1 nuclear. Rumor has it, and it's a spicy one, that Big Meech, fresh out of the Bing, might have put a, well, let's just say a serious problem on Rick Ross. Yeah, you heard that right. Hit out on Rick Ross. Let that sink in for a second. This ain't just beef. This is next level.
Do I feel bad for Lil Meech? I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the fuck I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too, nigga. You asking for my sympathy for it, nigga. You be alright. Oh, yeah, nigga.
See what I'm doing right now? My shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still counting paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
Now the internet is losing its collective mind. Everyone and their grandma saw this coming, except maybe the one person who should have, Big Meech himself. It's like watching a slow motion train wreck, but with more ego and way more shade. See, everyone else clocked Rick Ross's moves from a mile away. Why? Because this dude, and let's just keep it real, has got a history of, let's call it, questionable loyalty. Remember, this is a cat who used to wear the badge. You feel me? Correctional officer turned Rick Ross. And rule number one in the streets, the OG rule number one, don't trust the ex-cops, especially when they start flashing the cash and talking about empires. But Big Meech, he walked right into it.
Bad guy out of all of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No.
No? You think 50?
No.
Lil Meech?
No.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to.
And who's sitting back with the popcorn, living his absolute best life through all this? None other than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Man, 50 is practically glowing right now. He's been taking victory laps around the internet, and honestly, can you blame him? He's been throwing shade thicker than molasses at both Big Meech and Lil Meech ever since Ross decided to throw him under the bus. And let's be real, Meech siding with Ross was a slap in the face to 50. Think about it, 50 put Lil Meech on, $5 million, career launched, the whole BMF series, all 50. And then Meech comes out smiles wide, hugging up on Rick Ross like they're long-lost brothers. It's wild.
In his career that you have any respect for? No, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him.
I'll buy your masters. You ready? I will buy your masters.
Now, 50 wasn't expecting Meech to declare war on Ross or anything crazy like that. But to see Meech cheesing in photos with Ross, acting like Rozay was the ride or die from day one, that had to sting. Like a paper cut dipped in lemon juice. But Meech didn't stop there. Oh no. He twisted the knife. He links up with Floyd Mayweather too, all while Lil Meech, the dude 50 practically built, is standing right there grinning like nothing's wrong. Is that how you show respect to the man who changed your family's whole trajectory? Some folks are saying 50 made stacks off Big Meech's name, and yeah, maybe he did, but at least 50 built an actual empire off it. He put in the work, created opportunities, and moved with a certain code, a certain respect. But Rick Ross, what did Ross do? He played Big Meech like a cheap violin. Like a pawn in some dirty game of street chess, Ross saw this whole drama brewing from a mile away. Did he warn Meech? Nah. He played puppet master, chasing clout, grabbing headlines, and feeding that oversized ego of his. Then, bam! As soon as things started getting hot in the kitchen, what did Rozay do? He ghosted, vanished, dipped out faster than you can say Wingstop, and just when the messiness hit peak levels, suddenly out of nowhere, Rick Ross pops up with a shoulder injury, a broken shoulder. And he made sure everybody online knew about it too, like we're supposed to flood the comments with sympathy emojis. Oh, poor Rozay, his shoulder's broke, but he's still counting paper. Please. But the shoulder story? That wasn't just to dodge Meech, that was a full-on distraction tactic, a smokescreen to duck heat from his own fan base. Yep, the same fans he allegedly scammed with that crypto hustle boss token, remember that? People were roasting him online, calling him Rug Ross because he allegedly straight yanked the rug out from under folks who trusted him with their hard-earned cash. No warning, no remorse, just vanished with the bag. And let's not forget the timing, people. Just days after he fed Big Meech a bunch of sweet nothings and got caught slipping, bam! Broken shoulder. Coincidence? Nah, fam. Not likely. Word on the street is that Ross was the one whispering in Meech's ear, hyping him up to squeeze 50 for more cash. If that's true, then Ross wasn't just shady, he was playing both sides from the jump. Master manipulator level stuff. You literally can't make this stuff up. It's straight out of a movie, except this is real life with real consequences. Big Meech is out here with practically nothing to his name right now. Industry folks are dodging him like he's got the plague. Even those Wingstop franchises everyone thought he was banking off. Turns out Rick Ross low-key sold most of them, leaving maybe 2 standing just for show, while he funneled the real cash into his real estate empire. BR. Always be real estating, right? If Ross hadn't jumped into the mix, Big Meech might have actually had a shot at rebuilding his name, maybe even reclaiming some shine in the game, but instead he got caught slipping, making one bad move after another. And look, do I feel bad for Lil Meech? Nah, I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. We're all grown here. Why I gotta feel bad for another grown man? You a grown man too. You want sympathy? Nah, man, you'll be alright. And Lil Meech, man, was out here wilding, blowing millions on designer fits, chrome hearts, everything, just to flex and keep pace with artists like Gunna. Now look, everything's gone. That flashy lifestyle? Poof. People online are tearing Big Meech apart, calling out how fast that fake friendship with Rick Ross crashed and burned. And one voice that stood out loud and clear in all this mess, Michael Rainey Jr., aka Tariq from Power, he ain't hold back. Said straight up he doesn't feel bad for either of them because they're both grown and should have seen this whole mess coming from a mile away. And guess who else was co-signing the chaos? Yep, 50 Cent lurking in his corner of the internet, doubling down with that signature petty energy. You already know how savage 50 gets when he's got beef. He doesn't just throw shots, he nukes the whole block just to make a point. So, who's the bad guy in all of this? Is there even a bad guy? Nah, wait. Yes, there is a bad guy, and it ain't 50, and it ain't Lil Meech, it's Rick Ross. Let's be real. Even DJ Vlad, who's seen it all, had to agree, 50 Cent is the last dude you want smoke with. He will drag it out, flip the script, and destroy everything in his path just to prove he's right. And let's not act like this is new. Big Meech ain't even the first one Rick Ross left in the dust. Remember his own crew? Ross did the same dirty to his guys, left them to get stomped out in Canada, then came back later talking about he was testing their strength. Testing their strength? That's not loyalty. That's straight up villain behavior. But honestly, that's been Rick Ross's whole vibe from the start. Even Whack 100, never one to mince words, had to step in and call out Rick Ross as the real villain in this whole mess between 50 Cent and Big Meech. And Whack saw the setup coming from the jump. He said it plain. Ross was never really down for Meech. He had a plan from the start, gassed Meech up, made it seem like they were tight, pushed him to flip on 50, and promised him the world, money, connections, respect. He made it sound like Meech was about to take over the game again, but in the end, all talk, nothing but smoke and mirrors. And let's not forget the real Rick Ross, Freeway Rick Ross, the OG. How do you feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name? Well, the fact that he stole my name, and not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. You know, he built his career off of my legacy. And as much as some people might not want to admit it, Whack 100 was spitting facts. If Rick Ross was really trying to help Big Meech, he would have kept the business quiet, moved smart. But instead, Ross was out here clowning 50 in interviews, flexing like he was about to buy the rights to the BMF series, knowing dang well he wasn't serious about it. Now, none of that is happening. Zero movement. Ross fell silent on Meech like he never existed. These days, the only thing Ross is shouting about is whatever's going to put more money in his pocket. And Big Meech ain't part of that plan anymore. But here's where it gets extra wild. Word going around says Rick Ross was the real reason Big Meech's Welcome Back concert got shut down. The same concert folks thought 50 had sabotaged? Ross had everybody fooled, pointing fingers at 50 while playing the innocent role in public. But behind closed doors? He didn't want Meech collecting that spotlight, that bag. He wanted Meech stuck in his shadow, just another name behind Ross's fake loyalty act. And when 50 finally spoke up about the concert being canceled, he didn't yell or rage. He just dropped a post and deleted it later. I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am. Quiet, cold, and chilling, like a message from a man who's about to move in silence and strike loud. At first, folks weren't trying to hear it, but now, everything's starting to add up. Big Meech really thought Rick Ross was in his corner, especially with that BMF track where Ross rapped, "I think I'm Big Meech," like he was paying homage or something. But here's the real mindbender. What if Rick Ross didn't just want to shout out Big Meech? What if he actually wanted to be Big Meech? Sounds crazy, right? Not when you look at Ross's playbook. He's got a whole history of building his brand by borrowing the names, stories, and swag of real-life street legends, especially the ones who built empires in the underworld. This ain't speculation, it's facts. Just look at where he got his name. Rick Ross didn't make that up. He straight-jacked it from the real Freeway Rick Ross, one of the biggest kingpins of the 80s who was locked up at the time. And when the real Rick got out, he wasn't having it. He publicly called Ross out and even took him to court to sue for identity theft and trademark infringement.